and I want to get into William Tompkins, a great man, 94 years old, and this is a great example of what I was just talking about with whistleblowers. William Tompkins, if we can pull up actually his bio from Gaia.com. Yes. Gaia is a great site. So Gaia.com, William Tompkins appeared on Cosmic Disclosure a lot with Corey Goode and David Wilcock. Yeah, just down just a little bit. That's perfect right there. Yeah, and you know, William Tompkins, I'm just going to go over his bio, and you can see him on video on YouTube and at Gaia.com. As a teenager, William Tompkins' keen eye for detail nearly landed him in hot water with the Navy, as his models of Navy ships included specifications which were classified. However, the Navy took interest in his capabilities and recruited him into their intelligence programs to work on advanced technology projects. After the Navy, Tompkins worked within highly classified think tanks designing advanced weapons for aerospace companies including North American Aviation, Northrop, and Douglas Aircraft Company. He even assisted with the Saturn and Apollo space programs for NASA. He's coming forward now to reveal that his many years with clandestine programs included much more than designing conventional technology. With naval intelligence, he also evaluated the plausibility of extraterrestrial threats from known civilizations. And during his time with the aerospace think tanks, he was instrumental in the design of spacefaring vehicles for the Navy. All the while, he had assistance from the Nordic-type aliens who helped to guide the design process. Well, that's great. So, William Tompkins died recently. Actually, on the day of the eclipse, he died at 94. And I want to pay tribute to him because he is a whistleblower that I don't think anybody knows about. William Tompkins, Dr. Patrick Flanagan, the Russian pyramid research, which could literally harmonize the earth, are so important, and people have no idea about any of this. And and Dr. Royal Rife, we mentioned him in the last segment. So William Tompkins I'd like to talk about because he recently passed on. David Wilcock was really into William Tompkins, and he's a great, great researcher, one of the best in the world, David Wilcock. And so he transitioned on the day of the full solar eclipse. So William Tompkins died. And I just want to go over some of the really interesting things that William Tompkins talked about, because it's important that people actually hear about this. And you can share this link with your friends. William Tompkins, and it's not that he was 100% correct. He was definitely in the military. He had so much documentation to verify what he said. And, there's also stuff. I first saw William Tompkins, somebody posting something when I was in Argentina like 3 years ago on YouTube. And then somebody debunking it. And I thought, oh, it's just more BS. And then I looked into it more. And one thing I think we really have to do when it comes to anything, what the president says, anything, actually read what they say and actually listen to them say it themselves. Don't just listen to everything else, because listen to the actual, read the speech and look at the actual words. I mean, that was something that I didn't do recently, and then I actually looked at what was said, and I'm like, man, the news is reporting this, and the words were actually this, and then the words were this again and again, and I'm like, wow, what's going on? So I went directly to the source. I started looking into what he was actually saying, the amount of detail, and the books, and everything else, because it's easy to dismiss things, right? So, William Tompkins talked about a lot of interesting things. It's not necessary that all of it is 100% true, because nobody is 100% accurate, especially the universities, and billionaire Jim Rogers told us that firsthand. And other people have said, and I've said, most of what you learn at universities isn't true. It's either partially true, they're doing the best they can, and it's not we all have to go to university generally because what else are we going to do at 18? But it's mostly either incomplete or just not true, because all you have to do to control people's thoughts, and what's important is control the best universities. So William Tompkins, some of the things he was talking about over time, unconventional propulsion systems. What does that mean? That means that if there was any anti-gravity device that we were working on through Lockheed Martin or other military contractor companies that are building things for the military, in the 50s, if you look at the work of Dr. Stephen Greer, if they came up with that, that means there's free energy. If there's free energy, poverty doesn't have to exist. So there's a lot of things he said about propulsion systems, things floating in the air. That's not with gasoline. They're not floating in the air with gasoline. That means we don't need oil. That means that all the money you're spending at the gas tank doesn't have to be spent there, if that's real. You know, and it's been said a lot that it is real since the 50s. So he's talked about the Battle of Los Angeles, which is a mainstream story. You can look up things about the Battle of Los Angeles, and it was something where people in Los Angeles, some crafts were going on, and they tried to say it was maybe Japan, but it wasn't, and there was never a good explanation for the Battle of Los Angeles. That was something real, where there was military sirens going out, thousands of eyewitnesses. What else? The U.S. Navy's secret space program and Nordic Extraterrestrial Alliance. And if you think that's BS, look up Admiral Byrd, B-Y-R-D, and look up how after World War II we went to Antarctica, and a lot's coming out about Antarctica now. They're finding things in Antarctica. They're not just finding them. They knew they were there already. They're letting us know that they knew. They're letting us know, and they're pretending it's new, which is fine, but that's probably what it is. Some of it may be new, but probably not. And so Admiral Byrd, after World War II, went to Antarctica, and he gave a press conference in, I believe, Chile after. On his way back, he sailed back, gave a press conference suddenly. The entire Navy went to Antarctica after World War II. So we left our whole country, there's nobody there protecting it. It all went to Antarctica. What was going on in Antarctica? Well, apparently the Nazis fled there. I don't think they said that, and I think they said some of them did. But he gave a press conference in Chile. It's printed in a newspaper, and he said there were floating crafts, and the next war would be with crafts that can go around the world in seconds. And that's what the admiral of our, one of the head guys or the head guy of our entire Navy said at a press conference that he held in Chile because he was so freaked out. And of course, if you read about it online, it's going to say that he got back and people discredited him and all this other stuff. Why would you do that? Will you ruin your whole career? You just give an impromptu speech about aliens or crafts floating, and you're the head of the Navy, but you just do that suddenly? Like, okay, maybe, I don't know, maybe, but maybe not, right? So, William Tompkins talking about the Navy photo of alien UFO landing on aircraft carrier. I'm looking at all the great interviews. If you go to exopolitics.org, in fact, we'll show the article they have right now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this is the article they have on his passing. If we scroll up to the headline there, and that's a picture of William Tompkins. William Tompkins transitions on the day of the full solar eclipse. No, that's perfect. So basically, exopolitics.org has a great article also you'll find where they go through all his interviews. Top aerospace designer blows whistle on secret U.S. Navy space battle fleets. William Tompkins, Richard Dolan, and the future of ufology. So recently he started coming out with more. Apollo missions ended because extraterrestrials prevented U.S. Navy bases on the moon. Reptilian aliens helped Nazi Germany build the secret space program. Reptilian aliens helped Nazi Germany build the secret space program in Antarctica. That's interesting. So I want to go, in this tribute to William Tompkins, there's a great, because I think it's so important people know about him and we really honor him. There's so many people that have died that nobody knows anything about that were heroes because our government killed them. Or other governments, which really it means us. And so again, we get the mirror, we yell at the mirror. Because it's just us. I mean, we do that to ourselves. You ever do something stupid and you do it on purpose, you like sabotage yourself? I know I have. So it's not that we need to think that the government is evil. It's just part of us. We do that. We don't maybe kill ourselves, but you know what? Some people do that, unfortunately, right? They can't deal with there's so many things where we feel so bad. So I think all of us know that this is possible. And so when the government does some of these things, they have their reasons, but a lot of times, it's for control or what seems to be control. We can't control anything. This isn't real necessarily. It is real, but there's a lot more to real than just what we think is real here. So we try to control things, which I naturally do because I'm trying to run, keep things organized and, keep things in order, what seems like order to me. So we try to have some kind of control so we have structure and we can get things done and have some kind of agenda. But it's not. Time isn't real. Einstein proved that. But still, we have to actually operate. So it's a tough balance between sort of we are living here, we have to get things done, and we can't just have, I guess, what we think is craziness go on, right? So sometimes, hey, the government may have, there might be people you don't know about that are heroes. And I think this guy is one of them. So I want to pay tribute to him. So there was an interview with Jeff Rentz, who has a big national radio program, August 29, 2016. So I hope you share this link with your friends because I think this is really awesome. Let me know what you think of William Tompkins. Let us know here at Believe. So, he just talks on this interview from August 29, 2016. He talks about he was in the Navy. There's a lot of information about the Navy and that the Navy was in outer space. You think about the Navy, and they have, I guess there's an Air Force, maybe presence in space as well, but the Navy was in outer space. And, by the way, what's in Area 51? President Clinton gave a briefing about Area 51. Somebody asked him about it in a press conference, like a real press conference when he was president, and he said he was trying to get to the bottom of it, but there's a government within the government that he doesn't control. So, by the way, who controls the NSA? Is it Congress? It's not president. It's not the president. It's not Congress, really. Congress really doesn't control it because they tell Congress what they're doing. Who controls the NSA? What is that? What's going on with that? So while we're listening to the complaints about whatever party or president, there's really something else going on that we're not even looking at, right? Right kind of behind the scenes there. And it's good when there's a lot of complaining about nothing that has to actually do with what's happening. That's good because it's taking our eye off the ball and it's just completely, it's like a shiny object. So William Tompkins, the U.S. Navy was in outer space. He talks about there are now 2 trillion galaxies that NASA has said we have. 2 trillion. Some of these solar systems, and in each galaxy now, there's billions of Earth-like planets. Okay? So some of these have 3 suns. Some of these have 3 suns. Not just 1 sun, 3 suns. And we have over 200 billion galaxies. At the time, that's what NASA came out with. All of them with billions of stars. And William Tompkins is saying it's important to think about every day that even though we think we're forced into our current existence, there may come an opportunity quite soon where we can join other Nordic people or other beings and go out into the galaxy with them. Not all the stuff about wars going on and the bad side of this, like the Germans and reptilians and all this thing. Apparently there could be some good reptilians if you believe in that, and there seems to be a lot out there. You look at the statues from ancient Sumeria and statues in Peru of big lizard-like people holding babies. It's kind of strange. I don't know. Maybe it's just a story. Maybe not. One thing's for sure, you're not getting the whole story from a university. Just watch Ancient Aliens. And actually people from universities are going on Ancient Aliens. So he's basically saying it's not just about the bad things. There are some good things going on out there, that we could be a part of this one day, that we could join these people, we could join these beings, and that it's not just exaggerating, it could be already happening. It could be already happening. Wouldn't it be wonderful to take a cruise through the Milky Way? And that's probably being done by either other humans or other species that are similar to us right now. And they go on to talk about the Phoenix Lights incident and so many things. And basically, Jeff Rentz starts to say to William Tompkins, we're encouraged to feel subservient, trapped in debt and under great stress all the time on this little microcosm we call planet Earth. Yes, we are. And then William Tompkins says, and actually what we're getting into, instead of being negative, it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to enjoy what takes place. So this guy at the time is 93. He's really getting positive. And that's why I think even if all these things are hidden by our government and all that resistance has come our way from whoever you think is the boogeyman and the evil, just think about the resistance is providing an opportunity for growth. Without the resistance, there might not be any growth. So when we are finally able to go out there, how amazing will it be? So when we talk about the galaxies and we talk about the numbers of people or different civilizations that could be out there, actually we need to look at our opportunities, William Tompkins says. And the situation with certain extraterrestrials who are assisting us. And I hate to go back to just a couple people, but he's talking about the Apollo program, the Douglas program, and that these three people that were helping him were Nordic people, extraterrestrials, essentially our cousins, if you want the truth. They come from a different part of the arm of the Milky Way galaxy that we're all in. And then apparently he says we're out in the boonies. Apparently we're in the boonies of the Milky Way, and that downtown is more towards the center of the Milky Way. So he goes on about this. The Apollo program, we all know about, there's a movie with Tom Hanks, right? We're going to go to the moon. He talks about phase one was to build a 10,000-man naval research and operating base on the moon. And then phase two that we don't hear about was to build, I don't even think we hear about that phase one, was to build naval stations on every habitable planet in the solar system or their moons. Phase three was to do the exact same thing on the 12 closest stars. And then what happened, he says, we got shot down by the reptilians. And that and so we had help from some Nordic beings apparently, but that there were 30 to 40 species on the moon that said, listen, you can go to the moon a couple times, but that's it, no more. And what may have happened, he then gets into this about the moon not rotating. And the moon doesn't rotate. Everything else in the galaxy rotates. Everything rotates, but the moon doesn't rotate. And he says basically this is because it's a spaceship. It's not. It was put there. It was put there. By the way, what's going on the dark side of the moon? Does anybody know? I don't know. It's interesting. It's always dark back there. What's back there? All these obelisks. You ever see those pictures of the obelisks? And some might not be real, but there's a lot of pictures. What about those pictures on Mars? It's pretty interesting. So we had people that wanted to help us, and then we had people that said that, you know what? no reptilians are saying no and it's probably 30 or 40 different types of extraterrestrials who are operating in that particular planet. We'll call it a planet, the moon, he says. And it's controlling this region of the tip of this arm of the Milky Way galaxy. And so when you look at our moon, which is not ours, and then you stop to think that, wait, maybe this is not your planet either, because a whole bunch of people are out there using this planet as a laboratory. It's a laboratory. And does that sound crazy that we're a laboratory? Well, I don't know. Ask a monkey. Ask a monkey if that sounds so crazy. I don't know, or ask a lab rat. And if there are 2 trillion galaxies, are we the smartest thing out there? Because I personally, I don't even know where my pink bracelet is today. And half the time I can't remember where my keys are, and I just had them. You never know, you just had your keys, but you don't know where the hell they are, and so that's where I'm at in life. So if I'm the smartest thing in 2 trillion galaxies, and there's billions of planets per galaxy, that would be fascinating, because actually I'm pretty smart. Like, I know a lot of things, and I don't know a damn thing. I don't even know where my pink bracelet, I really don't know right now where that bracelet is. I'm actually looking for it now, so we don't know a damn thing, really. And so this could be a laboratory, and I really think it is. And you know what? What if the chickens or the mice started speaking English back to us? I guess eventually we'd have to free the mice, hopefully. If the mice started speaking English, apparently we might think of them differently, and we'd start, I'm vegan for 4.5 years, but I ate a lot of meat, so I never judge anybody. But I didn't have any animals start speaking English to me. Some people can actually, there's horse whisperers, right? There is and dolphins are apparently dolphins are very intelligent, their way of communicating. They're working on speaking with dolphins right now. There's some kind of program that's going on regarding speaking with dolphins. So this is probably a laboratory. This isn't so far-fetched. And it's not just William Tompkins that has talked about this. It's the Vedas. It's in India. There's so many things. Who are these gods? Who are the gods in ancient Greece? Were they just some guys made up? Were they made up guys, or... that's interesting. What about the gods in India? Were they made up too? And they were just really dumb people that needed to make up all these things? What about those spaceship-looking things that they were flying up? Did the Indian... They didn't have like the internet or anything else, but they could draw spaceships back on the walls back then. They just came up with the idea that the spaceships should look like discs, but they didn't have internet, they didn't have TVs, they didn't have anything else, but they knew what spaceships were, because if you look at some of the walls, there's some discs carved into the damn walls that are in the air. So how the hell do they know that? They don't know what, they don't have TV, they didn't have ancient aliens. Where were they getting that from? I don't know. Maybe it's just all made up, maybe it's not. So it could be that we were a laboratory. They said no And then William Tompkins, there's a lot he says about this. What I really like is he gets into Germany. And he starts to talk about, we didn't actually win the war. We had thousands, tens of thousands in Project Paperclip of Germans after the war, scientists and engineers and research people. Most of them came to the United States, some went to Russia. The head of NASA was a former German or Nazi. That's it. What else do you need to know? 20,000, I think, scientists came into the U.S. and were running NASA. And he talks about some of the spy programs into San Diego, which is where he was stationed. He's got his paperwork. He's got memos of handwritten from supervisors and who he worked for and all this other stuff. And basically, they were working on a lot. It is common knowledge that they were working on advanced technologies in Germany. And so you'd have spies come in and talk about what they were working on. We absorbed a lot of the scientists from Germany, the top people. And, his thing is that we didn't really win the war. It just secretly we absorbed a lot of what Germany was up to. And they use NASA to kind of continue that. And NASA is just maybe a front organization. It's not the real space program. It's not the whole story. And when you look at proving this, the day before 9/11, many people know this, Donald Rumsfeld said that the Pentagon lost $2 to $3 trillion. 9/10, 2001. He just said, we don't know where it is. Sorry, we lost. How do you lose $2 trillion? A lot of people have asked that. And Bush came out and said it too. Sorry, we lost a couple $1 trillion. And where did it go? Where did it go? And that's a lot of money. I can't even think about how much money that is and how many people it could have helped or anything. I mean, where is that money, by the way? They know where it is. They know where it is. They know where it is. So, and there's a documentary by Dr. Stephen Greer called Unacknowledged, and these black budget programs that are a fact. And so this is the biggest issue. So people are protesting and all this stuff, and it's important, all these things. Yeah, we should be nice, but we lost $2 trillion. It was just kind of hijacked, and we have we have things that the president doesn't even get access to going on. And in Area 51, what the hell's going on? What's going on? And so we have people like William Tompkins come forward. He's a real hero because the fact is that something else is going on. The degree of all of what he's talking about with the reptilians, and I like what he says and it resonates with me. It doesn't mean it has to be 100% true to you or things that David Icke says. David Icke talks a lot as well about a lot of these factors, a lot of these things. It doesn't have to be all true for you, but the fact is there are a lot of things going on that we don't know about. Even the president doesn't know about it. And we are having money stolen from us. And I think we can forgive those people. We don't have it, in my opinion, it's the only way out. You're not going to win, you don't win a war. You don't hate your way to victory. It's very easy. Again, if somebody like hurts your family member, of course you're going to want to. I mean, I have that reaction. Like as a man, I'm like screw this person. Even if somebody doesn't change the lock on the door, we had that happen where they were going to try to make us pay for something and I was pissed. But, I got over it and we got it fixed. We got the lock fixed. And if they said no and I had to pay for it, I would have had to get over it. And that's just the lock. So, I'm trying to just harmonize that. So it's very easier said than done. But, and to the people that have this money, they didn't steal it. They are using it to protect us, I'm sure, in some of their mind, or to build a better future for us. Who knows what the grand plan is? But there is a plan, and it's not disclosed to you or me. And there is something else going on. And these people that we've talked about are real. And there's a lot of things out there. And that's why somebody like William Tompkins is really a hero. And so I want to honor him. And I want to say that whoever may have suppressed whistleblowers, we can forgive them, because there could be whistleblowers about all of us, and it would suck. It would suck to have somebody come forward and talk about your darkest things. I've been a lunatic. I haven't done any major things, but crazy, dude. Yeah, it would suck. Now, and I've also there's things that people said that weren't true. I had a female employee that said even she had that happen, where somebody came out and made up some stuff about her. That was a man, and she, and it was a whole thing. So people have that happen. That sucks as well. But I think maybe we can change the narrative over time towards helping people, because we're all a little bit crazy. right? And the government is a little bit crazy. And when we pretend we're not a little bit crazy, to me that's a little bit crazy as well, but we're trying to keep order. But let's maybe think about, instead of putting people in prison, let's help them. I certainly need help, and we hope to be able to help you. So, wow, I'm so honored that hopefully that helped you in some way. It was informative. Let me know your thoughts on William Tompkins, whistleblowers, and the truth inside of yourself. It was a really great episode. Thanks for joining me on Believe. Our website is www.believe.love, youtube.com/Believe Loves You. And we're growing so much. We're going to have a store that's going to open up where you can buy really cool products. We're going to have better shows, commercials, more sound effects, more transitions. We're going to improve so much, more listeners. We're going to have a live call-in line. We're going to have more guests. You've noticed on our site, believe.love, we've had 3 or 4 more interviews. We're going to have more hosts talking. We're going to have so many things. So just all you have to do is share the links. And I'm sending you my best, most loving energy, and I need it too. So thank you so much. Thanks for joining us on Believe. Have a good day or night wherever you may be.